It's baritone time. Let's copy this and go post it on the website. Website is jollyrogerukulele.com. You should go there and pick up the sheet music for today. Today we are, oops, copy, close. Let's go to the website, edit the page. We are going to be doing Scarborough Fair, which is the very last song in the intro to baritone sessions. Hard song, beautiful. And then we are also going to start our work on Minuet in G, in G major and G minor. It was used to be thought that Bach wrote it, but it's actually Christian Petzold that wrote it. And so, in any event, it sounds like Bach ought to have written it. It's lovely. And it's a long song, so there's going to be multiple parts to it, and we're going to get all those parts and pieces and parts put together, and then we will be in good shape. Let me make sure that this updates properly. Been having all sorts of link posting problems lately. I'm in too much of a hurry. I need to slow down and make things happen at a more rational pace. All right, baritone ukulele. There we go. All right, so here we go. Ready for today. That's a lovely photo of me. Goodness sakes. I should probably try to take this more seriously than I do. Okay, so now we wait patiently, and we will get a handful of people in here, and they will tell me if the sound is any good. And we will be playing lovely tunes today. I'm going to get tuned up. Remember, we will be starting the intro to baritone stuff over in January. And from here out, it's going to be all Christmassy tunes. Maybe the same as the ukulele players, maybe not. Good morning, Terry. Good to see you. Sound is okay, I'm hoping. Let's see. I just got tweeted. All right. All right. All right. I just need a thumbs up. You know how we don't use words anymore. We just use emojis. Have you seen that commercial where the kid rewrote Moby Dick exclusively with emojis? That's so funny. All right, let's see. Hey, Lanny, welcome in. I'm a star now. By the way, you guys should. Yeah, I was on TV last night. Great music ahead. Cindy's stoked. We got hard stuff ahead. So, Jack, baritone lover, sounds good. Yeah, they haven't posted the link up on the website yet, but as soon as the link ends up on the website, I will post. What a famous movie star I am, and in case you were confused about, how famous I am. Basically, you'll know how famous I am by how many people are in the widget. That's exactly how famous I am. Yeah, I will share the link as soon as I checked on their website this morning. It wasn't posted yet. It usually takes a day or two, probably. And as soon as but it's Channel 7, and it's just a little 1-minute piece on us, on me teaching you guys. So it was very sweet of them to come by and do that. And it was super nice that my ukulele orchestra people managed to somehow managed to make that happen, which is exciting. So yeah, so I'll post the link up as soon as I have it. And we'll start in 2 minutes, guys. I don't want to. I have to make short work of this today. I have an email sitting here that's actually important. Every now and then you get an email that's important, and you're like, "Oh God, I'm going to struggle to get that responded to." Because mostly I spend my life trying to figure out how to just delete emails. And it may have occurred to you that I'm not a huge fan of the email, in the sense that, what email is? We didn't have this growing up. Remember this? Before that? You know what we did before that? Nothing. We didn't do that. Oh, did you find the link on there, Terry? Okay, good. Yeah, thank you. I will post it. before email, we just talked to one another, right? And it turns out when you just talk to somebody, it takes a tenth of the amount of time that email and text take. Everybody thinks, oh, text will be fast. It's fast if you're just doing a informational, like, right? Hey, it's raining outside, send. But that's not what we use it for. It text, it's like, hey, on the third page of the Scarborough Fair in the fourth measure, there's a 6, and I think it should be a 7. And you're like, well, by the time we go back and forth, it's been an hour of texting back and forth, right? Where we could pick the phone, hey, Gary, could you look at this piece of sheet music? I think there's a problem, and we'd have fixed it in a tenth of the amount of time. So I'm not a big fan of email and texting. Nevertheless, I also am not an old man yet. Well, I am an old man now, but I have a brain that says, yeah, we have to accept the fact that emojis are a thing. Yeah. And so I kind of, it makes me angry how much time I spend on that electronic communication when honestly, most of the time, most of this stuff could be much more expeditiously solved. Or forget it. Just, what we do, we send out an email. Here's a little job for you. And I'm just as bad, right? I got to send an email to this person and I'm going to copy this other person. So if that first person doesn't do what I want them to do, the person that's copying will feel guilty and will feel like they have to participate, right? So there's only so much of deleting of Macy's coupons you can do on email. After that, you're just like, I should probably actually respond to some of this stuff. So there's my opinion on electronic telecommunication and there's my comments on the world. Good thing you're here for my philosophy. It's worth nothing. Let's see. Hey, Michelina, welcome in. Valerie, good morning. Cindy, hello, Oregon. You know how the cute YouTube girls, they do that? Hello, beautiful people. I follow a tin whistle girl. She does that. She's from Britain. Hello, beautiful people, and with her British accent, and you're just like, I don't care what you're selling, I want to buy it, man. So, and then I follow a recorder player that does the same thing. Hello, it's Recordodime. She shows you your recorders. You're like, okay, cool. I want to hear her voice. Let's see. Pele, I have Bach Minuet Suite. Is this right? I've put out 2 different versions of Bach Minuet Suite in 2 different keys. And so the one you want is the one posted on the website. So, and I will tell you, it's not that I wasted time, but I wasted time a little bit. So yours should say Bach Minuet Suite, and it should be in the key of D. So your first note is D, or your first chord is D. After I got this all done, I wanted it to be exactly the same as the ukulele one. Then I found out that I did a version previously for Georgia, who is a baritone student who worked with me for several years, and it was in the key of A. And I'm like, well, I just did a whole lot of work for nothing. I could have just posted that one in A, and it'd have been fine. But you guys have the same shapes as the ukulele players now, so can't play with them. But if you've played this before with me on ukulele, you'll make short work of this. Good morning, Ray. Good to see you. All right, guys, I do have a couple of things I got to get to, so we're going to make pretty short work of today. And then I'll let you know I am running way behind on getting all this sheet music posted. And so I will get as much as I can to you as quickly as I can this week. Saturday turned out to be a bit of a show around here and for stuff in the building. And so I lost a whole day of productivity. So that's why I'm way behind. Now, let's talk about Scarborough Fair and what this means. If you are new to baritone, if you're new to playing in this style of ukulele, this is the last piece in the intro to baritone stuff that I do. And these are stretch pieces. Aloha Oi and Scarborough Fair should represent a pretty challenging music for you. If you're playing Scarborough Fair and Aloha Oi effectively on all of the levels, you're playing the chords, you're playing the melody, you're playing the tough uke, and all that's starting to sound like Scarborough Fair and Aloha Oi, you are there. You have arrived. There's nothing else significant that I have to work with you on ever. Okay, that means you've got the toolbox in place. Now obviously we take those tools and we sharpen them up and we refine them and we dig into weirder stuff, and that's what the next level, book 2 and beyond stuff is always going to be about. Is, all right, we know how to make this chord, but now we're going to make this other weird stupid shape that's awkward and complicated. Now we're going to add in triplets, and now we're going to add in this other weird musical concept, and we're going to study what rubato means, and we're going to study what legato is. And in my head, I'm always have to look up which one I mean. And so as we go forward, there's plenty more music to learn, but the basic toolbox is in your kit. Okay, you've got it. And so now what we just need to do is spend a lot of time working on it, getting it cleaner, getting it faster, getting it more beautiful, finding weird stuff in sheet music we don't know what the heck it is, and seeing if we can straighten that out, understanding what all this nonsense is about. All right, so let's run through Scarborough Fair. Most of you know this from Simon and Garfunkel, and Simon and Garfunkel did one thing to it. This is not their version. This is as close to the this is much closer to the 17th century version than Simon and Garfunkel's version. And you won't remember this, but in Simon and Garfunkel's version, there's a whole lot of doodly doodly doos that go on for 16 measures. Every single song they did, those beautiful harmonies they created, they would do those for. It was not uncommon for them to do 8 measures of that, and so you have none of that. The one homage that I made to Simon and Garfunkel, if you'll look down at measure 13, that one measure has 4 beats in it, and it really does sound better if you put 4 beats in. The original would never have had 4 beats there, but Simon and Garfunkel made that measure extra long, and so we're going to make that measure extra long, and it really does sound better. So just be mindful that measure 13 has 4 beats in it. All the rest of them have 3 beats in there. Okay, let's run through the chords. Got your D minor. Are you going to? And then you just C. Remember, D minor and C are great but friends. D2, just go right up. Scarborough, and then drop right back down. Add your ring. Fair. Okay, you guys have F chord. Nobody likes it. It is what you have to do on baritone. You're on the wrong instrument if you're not willing to do this one. And if yours sounds like, that's fine, and just let it be that way for now. Eventually your thumb will be strong enough to clean it up. Parsley, sage, rose, G chord, berry, and thyme. Remember me to one who lives there. 3, 4. She once was a true love of mine. A true love of mine. Okay, and then a lot of extra D minors to wrap it up. Okay, so the chords themselves are real pretty. They sound really nice on this instrument, don't they? And so I'm just doing 1 strum per measure, which works, right? And guys, when you're learning a new song, it's not a bad idea to do that. Just 1 strum, sing the measure, do another strum, sing the measure. It doesn't matter if you're a good singer. You're not on. Trying to think of The Voice, right? Okay, you're in your basement. Okay, are you going to Scarborough? You learn to make sure that the chords make sense. Okay, then the other way, obviously, the other thing I do often is when I'm trying to do arrangements, is to make sure the beats are correct. So take your claw, 1, 2, 3. Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. 3, 1, 2. Remember me to one who is there. 3, 4. She once was a true love of mine. Okay, and then that goes on. You'll see in the arrangements, it's pretty normal for me and pretty normal for lots and lots and lots of sheet music to have 2 measure turnarounds to go back up to repeat, and then when you come back down, you'll skip those 2 measures and play out to the end. That's so common in more complex music that you just get real comfortable with it. On the older style music, that's a little bit more instructional, you'll see one measure turnarounds, but a lot of times, you're just trying to make it a little extra fancy doing your turnaround to come back. All right, let's run through the melody. The first thing I'm looking for is, all right, I'm in the key of D minor, probably going to be some ones, and sure enough, down there measures 12 and 13. So my first thought is I'm probably going to mostly play in first position. Got a 1 shows up at measure 3, which means I'm probably going to be using my pinky to reach a lot of 5s. However, when I get to measure 5, now I got an 8 showing up, so I'm probably going to slide into 5th position to play that. And then, dang nabbit, I got a 10 showing up, so I'm going to for sure be pulling my eyeballs off of the paper. That section through measures 5 through, really through measure 11. I'm playing 5s and 10s all the way through there, which is stretching me out and highly increasing the chance I'm going to make mistakes, right? And so we could be doing this, dun, 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 dun. And on guitar we might do that, but on baritone we're probably going to stretch because we can. But you do need to get comfortable with feeling if I'm on 5th position, what does a 10 feel like? So this is a great song to get where you're practicing that. Okay, same thing we do in first position. It's not uncommon for us to reach up and grab a 5. When you're playing in 5th position on baritone, you might be reaching up to 10. Okay, now theoretically you'd slide up to 7 to play the 10, but then you're probably increasing your accuracy, but you're also increasing the activity going on here, which you may or may not find helpful, because then when you're in 7th, you still got to reach down to 5. So I'm not sure you created yourself any success there. All right, let's take just a minute, walk through it, not too fast. 1, 2, 3. 3, 3, 5, 5, 5, 0, 1, 0, 3. Is that haunting? It's beautiful. Rest. 5, 8, 10, 8, 5, 7, 3, 5, 10, 10, 10, 8, 5, 5, 3, 1, 0, 1, 3, 5, 3, 1, 0, 3, 1, 3. Okay, and then long notes, remember you're vibratoing on them. Just if you're on your ring or your pinky are usually the best. You can do it on your middle, but your middle finger fights a little bit. Your ring and your pinky, they don't fight so much. So just wiggle it north and south, parallel to your fretboard, or with your pinky. Get a little vibrato. Anytime you're playing melody and you got a long note, put a little vibrato in there. It's going to sound nice. What you notice probably is you're going to have to make decisions about, especially if you're going to play a duet with somebody. They're going to be doing the chords, you're going to be doing the melody. You better think ahead and have an idea of which fingers you want to use at which moments and which positions you're going to be playing these things all over the fretboard. Okay, so there's your melody. Beautiful haunting melody, really nice. Let's walk through the tough uke and then we'll play it. Okay, so you always start by grabbing whatever chord it is. Notice I started to grab a D and then I'm like, oh wait, I'm in D minor. So I switch that out. Okay, 0, 2, 3, and hit the 3 again. And then your pinky's gonna get up to 5. I really do want you to hit your pinky there. You can trade it out, index, middle, and pinky, but you're gonna set yourself up for more work down the road. If you can reach your pinky while holding the D chord or D minor chord, you're gonna be better off. Now do your C chord, 1, 0, D minor. F chord. Okay, and then slide up 5, 8. So whether you're using the full bar, but slide up, and I think it'll sound better. Okay, and you got your 5, 8, and then just little bar on 10. And get it clean. That's going to be the success or failure of the song, are these 10s. And then your 5. And D minor with your pinky on 5. Go grab some 10s. Grab it with your index finger, even though the first 10's by itself, and grab all 3. You're going to have your F chord on 5, 5, 6, and 7. So that's a bar chord on 5, 6, and 7. And then you're going to have your pinky on 8. Okay, that's a lot of work. Bar on 5, C shape in front, pinky on 8. That's an F chord, by the way. Take your pinky off and strum it one more time. 3, 1. C chord. 3, 4. You may need to put some little dot and dashes in there or something to remind yourself to add in that extra beat. It will sound weird otherwise. D minor. I'm sorry, partial D minor. And then the 5. C chord with your pinky. Just slide your pinky back. Hit the 1. Another C chord. Hit the 3. Hit the 1. And D minor. Full D minor. Let's go to the top. Let's play it twice through. Play the top to bottom, top to 18. Come back, play the whole thing again, skipping 17 and 18 the second time through. Not fast. First time through, play it with your claw. Second time through, play it with your thumb. 1, 2, 3. Whoops. To the top. Second ending. And I blew the 10s. All right, so really nice song. Actually, very high level. There's nothing on this that is what I would consider beginner stuff. The chords are a little unusual. You got your F chord sitting there just waiting for you to mess it up. You got this high bar chord on 10. You've got this crazy F shape with your pinky. This one, by the way, in all of our music and books beyond book 2, this shows up all the time. And it's not particularly pleasant to play. You're going to be working on getting it on. You play it at a speed that you know you can get it on, and that's how fast the song goes. So really nice piece of music. I think everything is right about it. I don't see anything on there that I would change other than just logging in the time and getting it as smooth and beautiful as you possibly can. All right, I'm going to need to push on through into Minuet today. And again, if you're newer and you're like, man, this seems like a lot of hard work, just go in and do the melody until it sounds absolutely stunning, and then work on the tough acts. But I always want people to go back into the basics, always back to the basics. So playing melody is important. We play it on every single song on purpose. All right, my coffee is room temperature. Yeah. All right, Bach Minuet. That's the kind of day we're going with here. I got some cold brew sitting in the fridge. I'm going to go get that here in just a second. Bach Minuet in G. I want you to take just a moment to just look at how many pages you're going to be dealing with here. Okay. This is serious music. Okay. Why do we do it during Christmas time? Because it sounds kind of cool. Any tips for page management? This is your first 4-pager. Yeah, that's a great question. So when you get to more advanced music, you're going to start having to deal with page turns. So my first thought, when I am creating the original sheet music, I am thinking 2-page layout, right? So in this case, page 1, go down, you go back, you go around, you go page 2. You'll notice at the end of page 2, I got lucky in that the repeat for the page 2 goes back. It hits at the end of page 2 and it goes back. It doesn't happen always, but I try to be cognizant of that, so that the second time when you come through and you skip to 40 and you get to 49, you are going to turn your page and then you open up your next pages 3 and 4. So if you want to take the time printing out, you can't just hit print double-sided or it doesn't work, right? The first page will be by itself, 2 and 3 will be facing each other, and 4 will be on the backside. So that means you've got to turn pages twice. That's less than ideal. If you print page 2 and 3 double-sided, then you only have to turn 1, okay? If your printer, that's a pain, just take some tape and tape the back of 2 to the back of 3. That way when you only have to, again, you turn 1 page and it just pulls it with it. Also with page management, reach up and dog ear it just a little bit. So when you get to the bottom of page 2, you reach up and you're ready to go. The business of reaching up and turning your page as an ensemble player is a nightmare. And it's like when you go to the symphony, they sit in groups of 2. One person is in charge of keeping the music going. The other person is in charge of reaching up, turning the page, and then getting back in. And so when it comes to page management, I would say just be mindful that it is entirely possible when you're playing in an ensemble situation that you're going to miss a note or 2. I've lost my marker here. That's very bad. Where could it have possibly gone to? When you get to a page turn, either you have to accept the fact you're going to miss some of the notes in the next measure, or you can go down and make some notations at the bottom of page 2. Hey, here's what's going to happen on page 3, so that you can keep playing. The other thing is to just like accept the fact you might miss a few notes. Yeah, I got to miss a few notes while I turn the page. That's part of it. And notice in our orchestra, when we first start a new piece, we're playing along, play, and then we have a page turn and the sound goes way down. And the only people that are playing are the crazy people, and then the sound comes right back up in a measure or 2 as people get their pages turned, right? And the reason I call them crazy is they've gone ahead and memorized whatever there's on the next page. I don't begrudge them that. Honestly, that's super cool that their brains work like that. But I would never be that guy. I'm like, okay, here's page turn. I'm going to miss whatever the first measure is. Then I'm going to get back in and play. All of that's also an important musical skill, is being able to say, all right, I can't play for a minute while I need to turn the page, but then I'm going to get in on the measure after that and be ready to go. So getting back in is actually a highly important musical skill. And so when you have a 4-pager, try to think of it as 2 pages, turn, 2 more pages, and the faster and easier you can make that page turn, the better. So yeah, that would be my suggestion. And I do know that page turns are a massive problem. You see me, I got a little gadget here with a foot pedal. Even that doesn't necessarily solve the problem. It doesn't solve the problem. Let's put it that way. And so page turns are part of what musicians do. We have a particularly complex issue in that it takes a whole lot of space to fit our music onto a page. Violin, trumpet, I mean, they can fit a whole lot more notes onto a page than we can, so they can play for a lot longer before having to deal with a page turn. They, of course, have a lot more notes. Violin has lots more notes than we have, but it fits into a much more compact space, and so there are less page turns to deal with in other styles of music. Michelange's like, okay, shut up. I got the tape on. Very nice. Guys, I do not expect you to play this entire thing in one sitting, okay? We're going to break it down each day. We're going to play different sections of it. It's important. The very last section from measure 68 to the end is the same, more or less, as the beginning section. So we'll break it into 4 pieces, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's what we did the first time we went through this. And your first section is 1 through 16. Okay, so let's talk about that. Let's skip the chords for now. Let's go through and play the melody. Okay, it's in 3. We're going to go crazy slow, and you will recognize the melody almost certainly. 1, 2, 3. 5, 3, 0, 2, 3, 5, 3, 3, 7, 3, 5, 7, 9, 9, 10, 3, 3, 3, 5, 3, 2, 0, 2, 3, 2, 0, 3, 2, 3, 0, 2, 3, 2, 0, 5, 3, 2, 5, 3, 0, 2, 3, 5, 3, 3, 7, 3, 5, 7, 9, 10, 3, 3, 3, 5, 3, 2, 0, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 0, 3, 0, 2, 0, 3, 2, 3, 5, 3. Okay, so with this one, you're going to be, see my, I didn't leave enough room for the chords on the repeats. What you will see with this one is that bum ba da 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 bum 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 ba da 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 bum bum bum, and you're going to be again all over the fretboard. And so, being thoughtful as you're working on melody only, what are the good positions for me? And you heard me miss a couple of notes because I haven't made final decisions on my fingering. Okay, so you take that melody, beautiful melody. Just I want you to play those 16 measures, and then when you hit 16, you come back and play that whole thing again. Second time through, you skip 16, play 17, and then you move into section number 2. Okay, so so there's that. Now, the chords are pretty straightforward, honestly. That's the beauty of classical music. It is often pretty straightforward chords. Okay, so bum, and grab your D chord. Bum, ba da bum, 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 and then the C chord. Bum, ba da bum, bum, bum. A7, bum, ba da bum, ba da bum, ba da bum, 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 ba da bum, 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 ba da bum, 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 ba da bum, ba da bum, ba da bum. Okay, so also notice I gave you sometimes the regular A7 and sometimes the more advanced A7, depending on what was going on in the tough uke line. Okay, I didn't fix that everywhere in the song. I fixed that mostly where it was relatively straightforward. If it's a couple of plays, this gets kind of complex and messy, and you're just going to have to figure it out. We'll work on that as we get there. Okay, tough uke, D chord with your pinky, 3023. D chord with your pinky, couple of 3s. G chord, but a 7 on top. 3, 5, 7, 9. Pinky on 10, bar on 7. Couple of 7s. Okay, slide your bar all the way down and grab the 3. 5, 3, 2, 0. Nice D chord. 3, 2, 0, 3. Little A chord. 3, 0, 2, 3. D chord 0. 5, 3, 2. Then a D chord with your pinky. This all goes back to the same main theme. The sevens. Okay, that's it. Okay, a couple of things I would say about this. You'll go through. This is don't move ahead in the song. We got all week to get through the rest of the song. Really get this part nailed. I will tell you two things. These are a bit judgmental things I'm about to say. When I go around the internet and I watch what other ukulele players are doing, for the most part, it's somewhere over the rainbow, and I'm okay with that. I'm not against that. I think that's fun for those people who want to do that. And then the next thing I find, occasionally I'll find somebody who's actually building themselves a finger style arrangement of something where they shut their mouth up and they actually play the ukulele. That's what you guys do. All right. And then when I get to this professional level, by the way, there's about 7 ukulele players on the professional level, on the actual professional level. And then there's lots of this level. One of the things that they tend to do is go grab a classical music piece, put it on here, and play it real fast. And again, I'm not against that. I think it's really fun. But there's this notion that in order to be somebody, in order to be fancy and complete, and I really like, look at that guy, you have to play classical music, which is ridiculous. That's not at all the top level by any means in terms of musical skill set, especially on this instrument. Jazz is much harder to play than this. So when you see somebody playing classical music super fast, they're trying to give you a demonstration of how cool this instrument can be and how cool they are. I would say right now in your hand is a very cool piece of music. This is the entire Minuet suite. It's both the major part and the minor part. On piano, we will start a lot of newer piano players with this 16-bar piece that you have just played. As they progress, a year in, we'll give them the second 16 bar, and usually about 3 years in, we give them the second part of this song. Well, you have it all right here, and we're going to be playing it really nicely. If you're looking for an opportunity to dazzle people with your brilliance, this is the kind of song that does that. And so when you sit down to take a look at this, you are already holding in your hand a real designer piece that's like, wow, I could really make people think I know what I'm doing. And it's still relatively playable. There's some stuff down the road in this piece that's going to be a bit of a problem. But for the most part, pretty straightforward, and sounds beautiful. It really works on this instrument too, because you got these nice, that guy just filling in the bass, right? So my suggestion is, if you want to turn this into look at that guy piece, work on getting this up to a pretty high pace. Bum ba da 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 bum 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 ba da 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 bum 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 ba da da bum ba da da bum ba da da bum. That would be pretty decent pace. But if you're just looking for something beautiful that you want to show people, you can slow this down quite a bit. Bum ba da 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 dum bum bum. Bum ba da 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 bum bum bum, right? So no reason to think that there's any particular pace that you have to be playing at. The one thing I would suggest is, as you do these repeats, every single section is repeated twice. Think about the first time you play through it, playing it with your claw, second time with your thumb. I like going claw first and thumb second, because claw will sound more classical, and they'll be like, oh, he's playing classical. Then when you go to thumb, it creates that beautiful full round nice sound we like from ukulele, and then you can end up being like, oh, that's even better. Right? So first of all, I'm gonna play it. I'm just gonna play it, right? And you can play along with me. I'm gonna play it pretty slow, and I'm gonna play it the first 16 measures with my claw, second time with my thumb, and you'll see how it sounds very classical right off the bat, and then it's classical, right? Lots of little notes, and followed by a little bit bigger sound when you bring in your thumb and play it that way. Okay, so 2 different ways of playing tough uke, which is what we work on all the time. Is here's the music. attack it in your way, and that could be, you know, the more tools that you bring to the box and the more things that you feel comfortable with, the better and overall more interest that your sound creates. Okay, from the top, 1, 2, 3. Then back to the top. To measure 18. Doesn't that sound pretty? Just work on those 16 measures. Don't go ahead. Don't try to get the whole song done. Just work on those 16 measures. Get those as smooth, as beautiful, and as nice as you can. If tough uke is too tough for you, that's perfectly fine. Get the melody just clean and pretty as you possibly can. And what we'll end up with is this piece that's classical music that people would be like, oh, you really are a serious musician. Okay, so some of that is I'm a little bit judgmental about some of that in the sense that most of the professionals that I see working, they've memorized a handful of songs and play them really fast, and we are intended as a consumer audience to think, oh, that person really knows what they're doing. I'm going to go pay to listen to them, and that's the opposite of what I teach, which is you're supposed to stop listening to them and you're supposed to start being them. And the way you be them is take pieces of music, learn to play them at whatever level your skill set will allow you, as clean and beautiful and as legitimate as possible. And I don't think it has to be classical music. Honestly, I know a guy who plays a killer version of Three Blind Mice. That's what I want you to be able to be. Okay. The kind of Three Blind Mice you're like, is that still Three Blind Mice he's playing? Because that's an awful lot of notes. All right, there we go. Love this, right? And it's good music. It's beautiful. It's a song. But people know the pages 3 and sections 3 and 4 a little bit less, but they're actually prettier. So we'll get to all of that this week. We'll do one section at a time, and then on Friday we'll play it top to bottom. I adore this piece. I think my arrangement on this should go into the Smithsonian. It's that good. It's not that hard to arrange this stuff. So classical music is really it's lovely because it follows the rules. It's not like jazz where they do whatever the heck they want. So yeah. Or folk music, holy Moses, that sometimes doesn't follow any rules either. All right, kids, that's all I got for you today. I gotta ditch out early. I gotta go figure out what the heck's going on with my building and finish my coffee before harmonica. I'm one short on harmonica, and they're gonna stab me and kill me. I don't want to die today, so I gotta figure out a good excuse why I didn't get the other harmonica song done. You're welcome, Michelina. I'm glad you're here. You put in a really long time, a lot of work on this, Michelina. You're probably playing really well. I hope. It's a nice arrangement, right, Terry? Thanks. Thank you. Appreciate that. Cindy, Smithsonian or the library? Everything I have is going to end up when I die. Here's my plan. About a week before I die, I'm going to know when I'm going to die. And I'm going to say, all right, all of these arrangements that I have that I'm keeping in my computer, we're just going to dump them all on the web, and I'm going to tell just hopefully they'll just live there on the web forever. People 100 years from now, they'd be wandering around the internet going, what's this PDF from 2020? Oh, it's Gary on ukulele. Let's play this, see what it sounds like. You bet, Lanny. Good to see you. Ray, good to see you. Can we still see your TV award show at 11 today? I think that's what they said. Channel 7 at 11. That's what they said. So we'll see. And then Terry said he found the link and he was going to email that to me, and I will post that on there, Pele. So if you missed the television show, we have the internet now. So, all right, kids, I'll see you guys later. Have a wonderful day.